All right. How is everyone doing today? Already, every time I start, it's always a bad start. No matter how hard I try to make it a good start, it's always a bad start. Let me find. I forgot to open up my notes before. Here we go. Bad start. Let me find. All right, here we are. Okay, so we're doing. These were 3 English classes that I taught this morning. And what we are going to do is go through these 3 classes. These are the notes from the class. This is everything that we talked about during the class. These were intermediate to advanced people. And we talked about vocabulary, we did some grammar exercises, and we talked about some mistakes that were made during. The grammar that we will be talking about will have to do with reported speech, and that will be at the end. Something interesting about reported speech. So let's get started. The first word that we encounter here is buzzword, which is kind of, maybe you've heard that word. It's become pretty popular. Buzzword. First of all, buzz is the sound of an insect. That's the sound like a bee makes. Buzz. That's buzzing. That's what buzzing is. And, maybe I should try to find this. Because I have a picture I can show you. Where is it? I just have to open up a folder here. It's a useful word, believe it or not. I'm telling you it's the sound of an insect, but actually it's used in a couple of interesting different ways that maybe will surprise you, or maybe not. Let me just find a picture that I have. Okay. This is from an exercise I do that uses the word buzz. It's so useful, I have an exercise reserved that, let's see, where is it? Buzz is also the sound of electricity. So just like that, don't you agree that the sound of an insect, like the sound of a bee, bzzz, that's really the sound of electricity too. And so, have you ever gone to a building where if you want to enter the building, you press a button and then someone says, "Who is it?" And you say, "It's me. Let me in." And then the person will press a button, bzz, and then you open the door. You even hear that sound. Or in older buildings, you hear that sound, bzz, that's buzzing. And so what you can say is, "Buzz me in. Buzz me in." That's what you say in that situation. Bzz. Can you buzz me in? And then and then you open the door. So that's actually a pretty useful word. All right, so now we know that buzz means. Let's go back. So we know that buzz is the sound of an insect. It's the sound of electricity. It's been used for maybe like the past 10 or 15 years to also mean gossip, people talking. Because imagine a lot of people talking together. Bzz, 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 bzz. So, well, let's see the examples I've got written down here. I know I have some examples. So we have first, "It's me, can you buzz me in?" So look at this example here. There's a lot of buzz about the new iPhone. What that means is everyone is talking about the new iPhone. There's a lot of bzz, 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 bzz. Have you seen the new iPhone? Do you know about the new iPhone? So that's a way that you can use buzz. It could mean like gossip or talk. People talking about it. Excitement. Oh, Hadi is here. And hi Hadi, how are you doing today? He's on YouTube. Buzzer is a kind of doorbell. That's right, and the reason it's called a buzzer is because it makes that sound. Bzz, that's the sound that it makes. So buzz can also mean a lot of talk, a lot of gossip. And so a buzzword is a word that people are using right now. It's using that word buzzword is very negative. It means it's a word that people are using, but you know in 1 or 2 years they're not going to use it anymore. Let's see if we can find some buzzwords. I'm just going to Google list of buzzwords to see what kind of examples we can get. So a buzzword is a word that everyone is using now, but probably in 1 or 2 years they won't be using it anymore. So let's see, I found the ultimate list of 119 most hated business buzzwords. Let's see. We've got synergy, think outside the box, circle back. I don't know if you've heard any of these before. Do you know any of these? Big data, leverage, agile, reach out, touch base. Well, these are all cliches. I don't know if you know the word cliche, but I think that maybe buzzword is a synonym of cliche. Words that everybody uses, they're kind of annoying. It's a negative thing to call something a buzzword. All right. So we were reading an article in this class, and in the article, there was a phrase which was, someone would have you believe. Maybe I'll write that down. Because it's such a long phrase, nobody's going to remember it. Someone, we'll put that in parentheses. Someone would have you believe. Okay. So this phrase, someone would have you believe something. What that means is that's what they want you to think. This is what they want you to think. This is the idea that they want in your head. And the example that I gave in the class, because this was a Spanish person, flamenco dancing is not as popular as the Spanish tourism board would have you believe. Meaning the tourism board wants you to believe that, but it's not really that true. Okay, and then the next word that we have is pave. And if you haven't seen that word before, pave. Paving, let's take a look at the word pavement. We use the word pavement to talk about the surface, like the sidewalk or the street, the surface of the street. So a lot of times it could be a synonym actually for sidewalk. Here is, pavement really is just the sidewalk or the street, but it's really the material covering it. So if I type paving in here, let's do paving. You see people making streets with different material because that's what pavement is about. It's about the material you put on the street to make a street. But let's type a phrase up here at the top. Let me put this up here. I'm just going to put this expression, to pave the way. To pave the way means to make a road or make a path for something. So usually you talk about like the first person to do something made the road, paved the way for everyone else. So we can say Steve Jobs paved the way for smart technology, which maybe is true. I don't know. Or at least that's what everyone would have you believe. That's what everyone wants you to think, apparently. So that's what it means, like he made the road for that. All right. Now, the next thing, this is a problem that people who speak Spanish have very much. Because in Spanish, there's a word compromise, which means like a promise. But in English, the word compromise doesn't mean promise. It means an agreement, a type of agreement. Or it could mean that there's some kind of security fault. So, for example, the website was compromised. It means someone hacked the website. Okay, and then we started doing an exercise. So we'll do that exercise now together. All right, and so the idea here is not that you read along. You shouldn't be reading. You should be trying to listen to what I say and trying to repeat it. I'm going to say a sentence in regular, normal, typical English. Don't read. It's on the screen right now, but try not to read it. Maybe I'll change the screen. No, I don't know how. I don't have anything to change it to. Well, just try to listen. Don't cheat. So just try to repeat after me. I'm going to say something in typical spoken English. They take care of special requests quickly. They take care of special requests quickly. They take care of special requests quickly. Can you say what I'm saying? Can you repeat what I'm saying? This is just normal, typical English. They take care of special requests quickly. They take care of special requests quickly. Okay, now you can look and see if you got it right. They take care of special requests quickly. Now, if I give you the time expression last year, how will you change the sentence? So this is in the past. How will you change this sentence? They took care of special requests. They took care of special requests quickly. They took care of special requests quickly. They took care of special requests quickly last year. Let's make a yes-no question with this sentence. Did they? Did they take? Did they take care of? Did they take care of special requests? Did they take care of special requests quickly last year? And how would you answer no? How would you say last year? No. No. No, they didn't. No, they didn't take care of. No, they didn't take care of special requests. No, they didn't take care of special requests quickly last month. But now let's add more information. Let's say, but next month, yes. And this is in the future. It's a promise. How do you make a promise in the future with next month? Use will to make a promise about the future. They will take care of. They will take care of special requests. They will take care of special requests quickly next month. They'll take care of. They'll take care of special requests. They'll take care of special requests quickly next month. Now let's try to say everything together. They didn't take care of special. They didn't take. I forgot the last year. Okay, they didn't take care of special requests quickly last year, but they'll take care of special requests quickly next month. Try to say that all in one sentence without stopping. They didn't take care of special requests quickly last year, but they took care of special requests quickly. They will take care of special requests quickly next month. Okay. Now this is our new sentence. Our new sentence is, they'll take care of special requests quickly next month. They'll take care of special requests quickly next month. How will you ask a yes/no question with that sentence? Will they? Will they take care of? Will they take care of special requests quickly? Will they take care of special requests quickly next month? Now let's do the same thing. Let's answer no, but several times in the past, yes. So first let's answer no. No, they. No, they will not. No, they won't. No, they won't take care of. No, they won't take care of special requests quickly. No, they won't take care of special requests quickly next month. No, they won't take care of special requests quickly next month. But, okay, now we have a problem because we want to say several times in the past they took care of special requests. Let's see, how did he answer? should have that here. They will not. They took. Okay. Now in the original, this is everybody does this, which is the point of the exercise. His answer was, but they took care of special requests quickly several times. It's not wrong, but that's probably not the way that you would say it. So then we had to talk about the verb tenses. Well, first he made a mistake because I asked him to use present perfect, and he said they has taken care of. And we had to fix that because it should be they have taken care of special requests quickly several times. But so his original sentence, they had taken care of special requests quickly several times, which is not wrong. But I just think that the second sentence, they have taken care of special requests quickly several times, is better. But why is that? What's the difference between saying they took care of and they have taken care of? Well, if you tell me they took care of, that's finished, that's done. There's no connection to now. But they're repeating the action even more than once, several times. So it seems possible that they will probably continue doing this. It's very likely that they will continue taking care of special requests, and that's why have taken care of is a better option. What I like to do when I'm explaining this to people is I make a little diagram, sort of. I tried to make it visual. So if you look at number 1, they took care of. You can see we've got the past, and then we have took, and it's in closed brackets. You have an opening bracket. You can't really see my mouse. You have an opening bracket, and then you have a closing bracket, and then you have the present. It's closed. Compare that to number 2. They have taken care of special requests quickly. You have the past, and you have this opening bracket here in the past, but no closing bracket. And that's the difference between the simple past and the present perfect. The simple past has this closing bracket here, but the present perfect, it only has an opening bracket. That's really the difference. And I don't remember why we started talking about past perfect. Maybe he suggested that. And the difference between, let's see if we can put all of these on the screen. The difference between number 1, they took care of, because I'm in the way. Let me see if I can move. Number 3 is also closed. So number 1 is closed, and number 3 is closed. Can you see that? Number 1 has 2 brackets, an opening bracket and a closing bracket. And number 3 has an opening bracket and a closing bracket, but it is not connected to the present. See, the present is after the closing bracket. So number 1 and number 2 are very similar. The difference is that number 1 is just a piece of information. They took care of it. It happened one time, or maybe many times, but it happened and it's finished. It's just information. Number 3 is usually part of a story. First, they took care of the special requests, and then another thing happened. So probably, let me see if I can change this in real time. Let's see. Okay. I'll bring that up here. So if you're going to use past perfect, it's probably because there's more information. There's probably another event after that in the past. It doesn't have to be long. It can be only 1 second. But usually there are 2 events. It's part of a story. So number 3 is closed, but it's part of a story. Something happened after it. And number 1, it's just a piece of information about the past. And number 2 started in the past, but it's probably open to continue. It's open to continue. All right, so the correct answer here, or the best answer, I should say, because all three of them could be correct in different situations, is they have taken care of special requests quickly several times. How would you ask a yes/no question? Oh, wait a minute. Did we already turn this into... Oh. So our new sentence is, they have taken care of special requests quickly several times. Now, is this an active voice sentence or a passive voice sentence? It's an active voice sentence. I'm not sure if you know what that means, or if you remember what that means, or if you only vaguely know what that means. But if you have an active voice sentence, the focus is on the subject. The focus is on the cause of the verb, of the action. And sometimes in English, we don't want to use an active voice sentence. We want to use a passive voice sentence. So we have to make some changes. Now I'm just going to go through the process as I would with this student, not really explaining the process. If you're watching, you can definitely ask questions about why do you do this, but I'll just narrate what you do. Do I have the verbs here? Yeah, okay. Look at all these verbs that we were talking about. Take is here, but it's hard to see because it's at the bottom. Okay. In the sentence, they have taken care of. Have taken care of. What is the verb? They have taken care of special requests. The verb is taken. And if you look at these different colors, what color is taken? It's blue. When you're making a passive voice sentence, you always change the original verb to blue. So this one's already blue. This is really actually not very good to explain unless I can show it. Do I have this here? Okay. Yeah, you can see the colors here. So, oh, I didn't make them different colors. Okay. Well, you always... I'm just going to explain this the regular way. It works very well with colors, but for some reason, I didn't change the colors when I was... These are actual things I was doing as we were doing the class. And usually I will change each word to a different color because I think it helps to understand what we're doing. But I'll explain it without colors since we don't have them. You always take the principal verb and you change it to the past participle, which is taken. But now we have a problem because something is missing from present perfect. That taken is now for the passive voice. We need the past participle for present perfect, so we use the verb to be. And to make a passive voice sentence, we're focusing on the object. We will say, special requests have been taken care of quickly several times. It's too bad I didn't make the colors. It's much easier to understand this when they're in different colors. Oh well. But let's just use that example. Just repeat after me. Special requests have been taken care of quickly several times. Make a how question with that sentence. How? How have? How have special requests? How have special requests been? How have special requests been taken care of? How have special requests been taken care of several times? Okay, and let's answer by. Let's answer with by, because usually if you're answering a how question and you're explaining a process, you will use the preposition by. And if you want to use a verb, you have to use the ing form. By being eager to provide great service. Special requests have been taken care of several times by being eager to provide great service. The word eager means enthusiastic. So by being enthusiastic to provide great service. Now you might know that word already, but in this exercise I had to teach synonyms of certain words, and one of them was eager. So you can be eager to provide great service, or you can use the word keen, keen to provide great service. By being keen to provide great service. Special requests have been taken care of several times by being keen to provide great service. Okay, what goes on underneath this chart here? What are we doing? Okay, that was the end of that class. Obviously there was more in it. These are just the notes. Then I was doing another class with someone. He was more of an intermediate, intermediate guy. And we were reading an article. He was in South America. And we had the word seize, which means to take something, usually by force, taking something away from someone. They don't like it that you're taking it. So usually, unfortunately, that verb seize is used quite a bit with the government. Like the government seizes your house. The government seizes your car. The government seizes drugs. The government seizes money, because it means like take without your permission, to seize. So usually when you see that word, seize, it sounds pretty negative. But actually, it's used in this article that we were reading. Seize was used in a positive way because it's used as part of a phrase. Seize an opportunity. Like take an opportunity. It's my opportunity. When we first encountered this word, I said, "Oh, do you know this word seize?" And he said, "Yeah, that's like when you take an orange and you get juice." And I said, "Oh, no, that's squeeze." But to me, they sound very different. I don't think that we have to talk about the difference in the sound seize and squeeze, do we? Okay, let's keep going here. Is that all we had? I think I forgot to put more of him. That was just the beginning of the class. I'm missing the rest of the class, because this is actually the next class. All right, well, we'll just move on to the next class, I guess. Okay, I had to. Now I don't make these pairs. Okay, this came from a book. I had to teach this book. This was a long time ago. I made this exercise. And in this book, in this particular unit, it was saying these are some synonyms, but they're not just synonyms. One of the words sounds more formal than the other word. So we go through, or sometimes I think I added this neutral and emotional because I think that's true. That some of these words sound more emotional, and some of these words just sound neutral or boring. Sometimes it's about formality, and sometimes it's about feeling. Okay, so maybe you don't know all of these words. We'll go through them. I don't always agree with these pairs, but this is what the book said that I had to teach. So we have things and stuff. Both of those things mean the same thing. Prudent and careful. Then we have drinking and boozing. Now, booze is a funny word for alcohol. If English is not your first language and you say the word booze to a native speaker, they probably will laugh because it's not really typical that a non-native speaker knows that word, usually. It's unusual. And usually you talk about booze only when you're talking about alcohol for getting drunk. So if you say, "Let's go drink some booze," that sounds like let's go get drunk. Whereas if you say, "Let's go drink," that doesn't necessarily mean that you would get drunk. But when you use the word booze, it does. It does have that meaning. All right, we have advantages and pluses. fellow and guy. I think most of these you would know. Frequented and went to. So maybe you've never seen the verb or the word frequent used as a verb, but what that means is you go there often. You go to this place a lot. So there's a cafe that I frequent. That means there's a cafe that I go to all the time. That's what to frequent a place. Frequent as a verb means you go there all the time. You go there regularly. Okay, we have terrible and lousy. And let me show you a picture of a louse. Maybe you've never seen that word lousy before. It's actually a pretty common word. And as you can see from the chart, they are synonyms. But here's a picture of what a louse is. This is a louse. So it's like a flea. I don't know if you know these words. A flea or something like that. Bed bugs. Those are all louses. It's a type of parasite. So you can use that word lousy. That means really horrible. Really, really horrible. So I think, I don't know. I guess they're the same. Terrible, lousy. I don't know if one is stronger than the other. Okay, now the next word pair, think and reckon. This book was from the UK, and they do use the word reckon quite frequently in the UK to mean think. It's pretty common. I've heard a lot of people doing it. It is used in the United States, but only in a very small area. So if you're American and you say the word reckon, people will say, oh, you are from the South. You must be from someplace in the South if you're using that word, because it's not very common all throughout the United States. It just means think. It's another word for think. Another word pair from that book was annoyed and mad, which is funny because in the UK, mad usually means crazy, and in North America, mad usually means angry, but this book from the UK is putting annoyed and mad together. But yeah, so they're synonyms. You can use either one. And finally, the last word is man and bloke. Okay, bloke is exclusively UK. I don't think they use that anywhere else. So just in England, you probably would hear that word, bloke. And I don't really, I feel uncomfortable using it because it's just not a word that I ever use. But it means man or guy or fella. But outside of the UK, it's kind of a strange thing to use. Okay, now in this exercise, we were just changing one word for another word. But also we were practicing something interesting about reported speech. Okay, so if I give you a sentence, if I say, I have a lot of, well, let me see. Is this the start of the exercise, or? You know, I think I better just pull up the exercise because this is like halfway done. I didn't write. I was even writing this out thinking I'm going to use this in a video later. I better write everything. And then I didn't because that's the kind of person I am. But what we'll do is we'll go through the exercise because we did the entire exercise today. And I'm just opening up the exercise here on my desktop. So here, I'm going to say a sentence, which is, and here, I'm actually going to go back up to our chart here from the exercise. So I'm going to say a sentence just in regular spoken English. I'm not going to say it slowly. Right now I'm talking very slowly and clearly for you. But when we do the exercise, I want to sound like a normal person. So try to repeat what I'm saying. Mike and John frequented that cafe. Mike and John frequented that cafe. Mike and John frequented that cafe. Can you repeat that? Do you know what I'm saying? Mike and John frequented that cafe. Mike and John frequented that cafe. What I'm saying is Mike and John frequented that cafe. What does frequent mean when you use it as a verb? What does frequent mean? We just talked about that. It means you go there regularly. So when you say you frequent a place, that means you always go there. You go there all the time. Mike and John frequented that cafe. Now, according to the chart, is that a formal thing to say or an informal thing to say? Mike and John frequented that cafe. According to the chart, it's more of a formal or neutral thing. Let's change it. How would you change that using went to? Change it. Make this sentence yourself. Mike and John, let's say they went to that cafe. They went to that cafe. Frequented is different in my opinion because it means you go there all the time. Whereas if you say they went to that cafe, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like one time. But I didn't write the book. I just had to teach it. So I don't know. All right. So we have let's say they went to that cafe. They went to that cafe. Now let's make, this is going to be reported speech. Let's add, she told me that. She told me that. How, in reported speech, if you're following the rules of reported speech, how would you change that sentence? She told me that. She told me that they had frequented. She told me that they had frequented the cafe. That cafe. I better type this because this is going to get messy. So I'm going to go way down to the bottom of my document. And I'm going to type it out. Let's see. So our original sentence is they went to that cafe. Okay. But when we add she told me that, suddenly we get, we have to change it. You change past. Don't worry, I'm writing all of this, but you'll see it in a minute when I bring it up. I can't see what you see and type at the same time, unfortunately. She told me. So you change past to past perfect in reported speech. So if you add she told me, you have to say she told me that they had frequented that cafe. Let me just fix all of my typing mistakes before I show you. Okay, she told me that they had frequented that cafe. Let's put original sentence here. All right. Let's see. Oh, so you can see this. I don't have to bring it up. Okay, the original sentence is they went to that cafe. But when you do reported speech, she told me that, for example, you're repeating what another person said. You have to change the past to the past perfect. So you have to, and you should say, finally you should say, she told me that they had, oh, I said frequented when I wanted to say went to. Let me, had gone. She told me that they had gone to that cafe. Okay, but it is possible, it's not wrong to say, she told me that they went to that cafe. This is the point of the exercise. It's not wrong to say this. It's not wrong to say she told me that they went to that cafe, but there's a difference. Oh, I should put numbers here. There's a difference between number 1 and number 2. Any idea what that difference is? It's funny because, well, now the official explanation of why you should do this is that if you believe something is always true, then you can say it like number 2. You don't have to change anything. Or if the situation is very recent, you can say it like number 2, and you don't have to change anything. But when I was doing the class this morning, I realized maybe there's an easier way to think about this. And I think, like, thinking about the word connection. Like, what is your connection to this event? Okay. Are you right there? Are you in the situation? Are you connected to the situation, or are you talking about it later? And I think that's the difference. And then we actually got into a very long conversation about this, and I'm happy that we did. It's here at the bottom. We didn't start talking about this until the end. But let's take a look at this. This is the final part of the class. Not the final part of this video, but the final part of our class today. Look at this conversation. Here's a conversation. Imagine you're at the airport. You go to the information desk and you say to the R, that's me, R, Ryan, "Where's the bathroom?" And the information person says, "Oh, it's upstairs." So then I go to my friend and I say, let's go upstairs. And my friend says, "Why?" I would answer, "Because she told me that the bathroom is upstairs." This is two things. That's always true. It is upstairs. It's always upstairs. It's probably never going to move. But also, we're still in that moment. I just turned around and I said to my, "Where's the bathroom?" "It's upstairs." "Let's go upstairs." "Why?" "Because she told me the bathroom is upstairs." You see? You're connected to it. But now imagine that we go upstairs. We leave the information desk, we walk down the hallway, and then we take the elevator or the stairs and we go up. So here's scenario number 2. We go upstairs. There's no bathroom. Okay? So we're disconnected from that woman now. We're disconnected from the information lady. We left the room. We went upstairs. We're far away. In time, maybe not so much, maybe just a few minutes. But now we're at least disconnected by space. And what do I say? That liar. She told me that the bathroom was upstairs. So now there's this disconnection. Also, what she said was not true. Okay, so I think that's a really good way of remembering that. I think there was another scenario here. Wait. What did we have? Oh, but that actually has to do... Didn't we? I thought we said something else. Another example. No, I guess not. But maybe, hopefully that's enough. Does that make sense to you? I know that that's kind of a difficult thing to think about. But if you're watching this live with me now, answer in the comments if that's something that makes sense to you. This idea of connection. So if you're directly connected to the situation, if you're in the moment, you don't have to change anything. You just repeat what they said. But once you break the connection, then you have to follow these rules of change the present to the present perfect and change the past to the past perfect. So think about connection. When do I change this? You just think about connection. So now let's go back to the exercise. I'm going to go back to my list of synonyms. And again, if you're confused or if you have a question, then just ask. I'll be happy to. It makes me happy when you ask questions. So don't worry about that. Okay, let's try another example. Here's another sentence. I'm going to say this sentence in typical, normal spoken English because I want you to practice your listening. So I'm going to say it, and I want you to try to repeat it. I will say it several times. And let's see. If you want me to say it more, just leave a comment. Our reputation is our only plus. Our reputation is our only plus. Our reputation is our only plus. These are all sentences that if you are somewhere between intermediate and advanced, you should know all of the words. So this should not be a vocabulary issue. You should always know these words, unless your level is a little bit lower than that. Our reputation is our only plus. But can you repeat that? Do you know what I'm saying? Our reputation is our only plus. I'd love to see you type out what you think I'm saying. But I think there's a delay, so even if somebody did do that, I probably wouldn't see it before I moved on. Now, I'll just type it out now. Okay, so I've given you your opportunity to try and repeat. Our reputation is our only plus. I'm going to write it now. Our reputation reputation is our only plus. Oh no, it's too low. Let me see if I can raise this up. Can you see that? That's horrible. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. Try to move this up somehow. Oh, there we go. Our reputation is our only plus. That's what I was saying. Our reputation is our only plus. Now, let's go back up to our list of synonyms. And can you find another way of saying plus? What is the synonym for plus according to this chart? It's advantages. So you can talk about pluses, which is a very casual way of talking. That's a very informal way of talking. Or you could say advantages, which sounds a little bit fancier. So let's change that sentence. Our reputation is our only advantage. Our reputation is our only advantage. Our reputation is our only advantage. Okay, and now let's change this to reported speech. First, we'll start with your typical reported speech. Okay, so I'm just going to add an extra part here. Let's see, go back down here to the bottom. Here's our reported phrase. We'll say, they stated that. They stated that. So they stated, that's like saying they said. Similar. They stated, they said. Means the same thing, almost. How will you put these things together in a typical reported speech way? You change present to simple past. Simple present to simple past. So how would you say that? They stated that our reputation was our only plus. They stated that our reputation was our only plus. I'm just going to write that out. They stated that our reputation was our only plus. Okay. This is actually not a good sentence because remember the rules for reported speech. If something is always true, then you should not change the verb tense. But I think it's really helpful to think about this connection idea. You're still connected to your reputation, or they should be still connected to the reputation. That connection is not broken, so don't change the verb tense. It would be better to use the connected verb tense, which means don't change anything. Keep it like this. They stated that our reputation is our only, let's say advantage. We have to use the synonym, advantage. Okay. So you see, I better write that. I'm going to write, this is disconnected. Disconnected. It sounds like it's not true anymore. And this is connected. We're still connected to our reputations. It's still true. That's why I think it's really helpful to think of this idea of connection when thinking about reported speech. Are you connected to it or are you not connected to it? Let's try another example. So again, I'm going to say a sentence in just normal, typical English. You should know all of the words, and I want you to try to repeat it. Try to understand all of the words I'm saying. Here's the sentence. Some fellow complained about the service. 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 Can you repeat that? Are you repeating it? I hope you're repeating it. I hope you're trying. This is really a great way. If your listening is not very good, this is a really good way to improve your listening comprehension. I've had classes where they've done like independent tests. Like I used to work for a company, and they sent in like an independent tester to see if I was doing a good job. And always my classes, I used to do this exercise with them. Always in my classes, they always were much higher level of listening than their grammar or their vocabulary. I was very proud of that, and I think this is the reason. It's very helpful. And Vongok, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. I hope so. Vongok says, some fellow... now, this is interesting, actually, because Vongok says... Tell me if I'm saying that right, please. I don't want to be saying it wrong if it's wrong. This is what somebody on YouTube said, Vongok. He said, some fellows... Let's look at this, actually. Some fellows complain about the service. Okay. And this is almost right. I'm very happy that it's so close, but there are a couple of problems with this. I'm going to say this is what Von Gogh wrote, okay? But I'm going to say it again and see if you can identify any issues. There are two issues here, two issues. Some fellow complained about the service. Some fellow complained about the service. Some fellow complained about the service. Two things. Almost perfect. Let me show you what it really was. Let me see if I can copy this. And then let's talk about a very interesting issue here. Let's gray this out because this is wrong. Oops, I made it bold. By the way, I don't really use this word processor very much, so I'm not very good at it. I guess I'll get better at it. I'll probably use it more. Okay, what I really said was some fellow complained about the service. And that should be obvious, because if I said fellows, the next word is complained, and the S and the K sound would combine, and it would be some fellows complained, scomplained, scomplained. You would hear ska. You wouldn't just hear ka. You would hear ska. So listen to the difference. Here's singular. Some fellow complained. Here's plural. Some fellows complained. Some fellows complained. Can you hear the S and the K kind of come together? Some fellows complained. Now the next thing is Von Gogh said complain about. Okay, listen to how that sounds. Complain about. About. Complain about. Complain about. Listen to the past. Complain about. About. Complained about. Complained about. Some fellow complained about. Complained about. Complained about the service. Not complain about. Complain about. Complain about. Complain about. But complained about. Complained about. Some fellow complained about the service. So that's why, at least to a native speaker, it's obvious which one I'm saying, because we hear those little things. Fellows complained and complained about. And sometimes you have to listen to the next word to know what I'm saying. Okay, so, but that was very good. That was very close. Some fellow complained about the service. But now let's go back up to my synonym chart here. According to the chart, what is the synonym that we could use for fellow? Fellow, according to the chart, is formal. What would be a more informal word for fellow? Guy. Guy. Some guy complained about the service. Let's change that sentence. Let's use some guy. Some guy complained about the service. Some guy complained about the service. Okay. Now let's change it to reported speech. First, let's follow the typical rules, okay? Let's do the disconnected reported speech. Let's call it disconnected, and then we'll do connected. So let's say he sent me an email saying, okay, and then we'll use, how will you put these two together in the disconnected way? No connection to now. Because this is in the simple past, complained, let's say had complained. You change the past to past perfect when you're doing reported speech. Had complained. Okay. But now let's do the connected one. He sent me an email saying that some guy complained about the service. You don't change anything. What do I mean by connected and disconnected? Well, if you look at the rules for reported speech, they say, let me see if I can get this. It's hard to see. When you look at the rules for reported speech, they say, well, normally you have to change the verb. You change the past to past perfect in reported speech. But if the event is fresh, if it just happened, or you believe it's always true, then don't change it. Keep it the same, like the second one. So when you say he sent me an email saying that some guy had complained about the service without changing it, it sounds like we're still in the moment. We're still experiencing it. We still have a connection to it. An emotional connection, a time connection, a space connection. But when you say it the neutral way, he sent me an email saying some guy had complained about the sentence in the past perfect, you're disconnected from it. It happened far away from you. Maybe in space, maybe in time, maybe you don't care. Some guy complained about the service. So that's the difference, connection and disconnection. Let's take a look at another example. I'm going to start a new page here. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Here's another sentence. Oh, but let's go back up to a synonym chart, because I'm going to ask you to make a synonym. Where was it? Here it is. Okay. So here's a new sentence. Again, I'm just going to say it in regular spoken English, and I hope that you can understand what I'm saying. And please, again, if you're listening and you think you know what I'm saying, please type it in the comments, and we can look at it, and maybe we can learn something from it, or maybe you got it 100% right. Here is our new sentence, which is, Mary and John went out drinking last night. 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 What am I saying? Mary and John went out drinking last night. Mary and John went out drinking last night. Mary and John went out drinking last night. I'm sure you know all of those words. If you're somewhere between intermediate to advanced, you definitely could understand all of those words. Mary and John went out drinking last night. Can you someone type in the chat what I'm saying? Mary and John went out drinking last night. No? Okay, I'll write it. Let me just go down here to the bottom. All right. What I said was Mary and John. Oh, wait. Van Gogh says Mary and John went out drinking last night. That's perfect. That's beautiful, Van Gogh. Mary and John went out drinking last night. That's right. Okay. And now let's look at my chart. Let's go up to my chart here. Where is it? So according to the chart, what is a synonym for drinking? Drinking alcohol, not drinking other things. This is just drinking alcohol. Boozing, and that's a very funny word. If you are not a native speaker, this is from a book. I'm not creating this myself. I had to teach these synonyms from a book when I was teaching a class. So I'm not doing this to you. The book is. But this is unusual for, I think, people learning English. If English is not your first language, that's an unusual word to know. Booze. When you talk, if you say booze instead of alcohol, it's kind of funny. We use the word booze only to talk about drinking to get drunk. So if I say, hey, do you have some booze? It sounds like I want to drink until I'm very drunk. If you go out boozing, that means you didn't just have one or two drinks. You went out until you were completely drunk. So that's the difference between alcohol and booze. Booze is kind of a funny word. You will make people laugh if you use that word with them. They'll say, what? How do you know that? Like a secret. It's like a secret code. Okay, so let's change our sentence. Let's use the synonym. Let's use that informal word, booze. How would you change that sentence? Mary and John went out drinking last night. Went out boozing. They went out boozing. Let's change it. They went out. They went out boozing last night. Okay, they went out boozing last night. Now that sounds kind of funny. We know exactly what happened. We know exactly what happened that night. Okay. Now, let's change this to reported speech. First, I'm going to put what I want you to use for our reported speech phrase, which is she hinted that. Do you have any idea what that could mean? She hinted that. She hinted that. Because maybe you've seen the word hint before, but maybe not as a verb. This is a verb here. What do you think that could mean? She hinted that. So hint, you know, a hint is when you try to help someone understand something. Not give them the answer, not tell them directly, but when you tell them indirectly. So what if I go like this? Hey, psst. That's kind of hinting. I'm not saying that they were drinking, but I'm moving my body. I'm indicating it in a different way. And this is how you could use hint as a verb when somebody is using their body to indicate something because they don't want to say the words. So let's first do the disconnected way. If you're looking in a book, or if you're learning reported speech from a book, how would they tell you usually the typical way to change this to reported speech? She hinted that. This is the past. They went out. You change the past to past perfect. They had gone. They had gone out. Boozing last night. Okay, that's disconnected. Well, again, I'll remind you what that means in a minute. And then we'll do connected. What is the connected way? You don't change anything. She hinted that they went out boozing last night. What's the difference? I'm just going to keep repeating this because, again, if you're taking a test, like if you're taking a TOEFL test or an IELTS test or something, you have to know this, so it's good for me to repeat it a million times. But also, it's just good for memorization. So the first one, the disconnected one, that's what you normally do with reported speech. You change the past to past perfect. It's kind of neutral. But it's disconnected. There's no relationship between you and the event. When you say it like number 2, connected, you are in the experience. So this is while it's happening. Well, the official explanation, if you look in a grammar book, it would be, well, you do the connected one, you do when something is very recent, when it's recently happening, or it's always true. So, but what I mean by connected is if you're experiencing it in the moment, then you can say she hinted that they went out boozing last night. But if you're saying it many hours later, you probably would say number 2. You have no connection to the situation. She hinted that they had gone out boozing last night. I forgot they. All right, let's try another example. Here is a new sentence. I'm just going to say this in regular spoken English. Hopefully you can understand it. You should know all of the words if you are somewhere between intermediate and advanced. Here's our new sentence. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. 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 Can you repeat that? Do you know what I'm saying? You should know it. If you're somewhere between advanced and intermediate, you should know everything I'm saying. You should know all of those words. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Von Gogh, are you going to tell me? Do you have any idea this time? Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Let's see. Mary needs to be careful with... Oh, okay. Almost. Almost perfect. Von Gogh, this is what Von Gogh writes. Mary needs to be careful with the investments. That's not exactly what I said. It's very close, though. I'm going to write what I said, and let's compare. Let's see if we can understand why you didn't hear that the way that I said it. Because what I said is with her. Now, recently, I've been doing some things about pronunciation. So, let's do this. I just want to prove a point, and then we'll move on. Because actually, I don't know where this is going, but we'll see. Let's compare these two words for a minute. Okay, you see these two words that I have? I've got number 1 and number 2 here. I've got the and there. And one way that you could really improve your listening and your pronunciation is to pay very close attention to the vowel sounds. And specifically, the duration of the vowel sounds. Is it a very short sound or is it a very long sound? Okay, so if I say number 1, the, what do you think about that sound? Is that a very long sound or is that a very short sound? The. Oh, that's really short. That's super short. Okay. But now listen to number 2. And this becomes really important because in some types of English, in Australia, in the UK, they don't pronounce the R's, the final R, at the end of a word. So the vowel sound becomes extremely important in that situation because how can you tell the difference between the and there? That's a very different sound. There. It's like 3 or 4 sounds. There. There. Number 1 is the. Number 2 is there. They're longer, but they're also different sounds. They're very different sounds. The. There. Imagine number 2 with no R. There. 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 And that's how you would hear it in the UK, maybe. There. Which is different from the. Okay, so sometimes the vowel sound can be very helpful in understanding the type of word that somebody is saying. Because a lot of words sound the same unless if the vowel sounds sound the same. Okay, but now in spoken English, I'm just going to go back to our example here. In spoken English, the word her, it's a very common word, happens very frequently, and H is not a very strong sound in English. In some types of English, people don't pronounce H's, ever. So that word her becomes part of the word in front of it. So in conversation, people will say with her, with her, with her, with her, with her. Oh, well, everything I said about vowels doesn't matter because I guess it sounds the same. I told you I didn't know where this was going, but I guess it does. Wither. Well, in North America, it sounds different. Wither, wither, with the. Well, no, you know what? There's a stop. The difference is there's a stop because when you say, if you say with the, I think we just naturally stop because we have with. There are two different sounds there, actually. Okay, let's do this. We're going back to the drawing board here. Forget about my vowel sounds. Although that's very important, extremely important. And if you pay attention to it. Wait, let me think. I'll just put, let's see. Oh, okay, we'll put these two words. We'll put kiss and kid. All right, you see these two words? Kiss and kid. The final sound, if we look at word number one, kiss, kiss, there's a lot of air coming out. Kiss. That's how it ends. Kiss. If you say number two, kid, there's no air. Your tongue actually will prevent the air from coming out. Kid. The tongue actually stops the air from coming out. So they're very different in that way. Kiss and kid. Okay, now, if you say kiss, but you put your tongue under your teeth, like this, can you see? It becomes kith, 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 kith. So you start with kiss. Lots of air coming out. But then you still have that air, but you move your tongue. Kith. Kith. That is the sound of the word with. 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 It's because there are two TH sounds in English. There's with, and then there's number two. It's a TH sound with no air. It's like a D. It's like if you said kid, but move your tongue here. Kit, 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 kit. It's very different. Number one is kit, kit. It sounds funny. And number two is kit, kit. Number one is kit. Number two is kit. So if we say with, there should be a lot of air coming out. With. But the is da. Da, but you move your tongue. Da. Da. With da. With da. With da. With da. So the first sound has a lot of air. With. Then you stop. And then you say da. With da. With da. With da. So we have that phrase. Let's write it down. We'll do another number one, which is with the. And then let's do with her. So we can hear the difference. All right. So there's going to be a lot of sound in number one. With the. With the. With the. With the. With the. There's like a stop. There's even a stop in the middle. With the. With the. But number two, let me say number two. Wither. 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 Or if you're somewhere where they don't pronounce R's, witha. 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 So number one is witha. Witha. And number two is witha. Witha. Or the way I would say it, wither. 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 That's really the big difference. Okay. So what I said, my sentence was, Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Let me say number one. I'm going to say the first one. So this is with the. Mary needs to be careful with the investments. Oh, there's another big clue here. Because I don't know if you're finding all this helpful. You might think, gosh, all I did was try to repeat the sentence and you're going on for 10 minutes about pronunciation. But I think it's helpful. These are things that can be very helpful for you. So I'm going to do it. And if you want to complain, go ahead and complain in the comments. Okay. I'm going to say 2 words. Oh, I should put numbers on these. Listen to phrase number 1. The investments, the investments, the investments. Listen to number 2. The car, the car, the car. Do they sound different? Does the word the sound different to you in those? Number 1, the investments, the investments. Number 2, the car, the car, the car. When a word begins with a vowel sound, A, E, I, O, U, when a word begins with A, E, I, O, U, the word the changes. It becomes the investments, the investments, the car, the car, the car. So if I had said with, let's see, let's put these. So we've got with her investments compared with the investments. There are a couple of really big differences between those. Surprising differences. Because, you know, Von Gogh, you've made a very common mistake. A lot of people do that. Everybody does that, actually. It's very hard to hear the difference between these. But when you think about it, there are a lot of really big differences between these. It's just a matter of learning to understand what they are, which can improve your pronunciation, but more importantly, it can improve your listening. With their investments, with their investments, with their investments, with their investments, with her investments. That's number 1. With her investments, with her investments. Number 2, with the investments, with the investments. With number 1, with their investments. Number 2, with the investments, with the investments. Number 1, with their investments. Number 2, with the investments, with the investments. I hope you can hear a little bit of a difference. To me, they sound very different, actually. Okay, but let's go on. Let's continue. So that was a good job. But what I was saying was Mary needs to be careful with her investments, with her investments, with her investments. So it was the second one. And let's stick with that. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. We'll put that down here. Okay. So that's our sentence. Mary needs to be careful with her investments. Now, let's take a look at my list of synonyms. What would be another way of saying careful according to this chart? Prudent. Prudent. How would you change that sentence? Mary needs to be careful with her investments using the word prudent. Mary needs to be prudent with her investments. Mary needs to be prudent with her investments. Okay, let's write that down here. Mary, let's say she. I'm just going to put she. She needs to be prudent with her investments. Mary needs to be prudent with her investments. She needs to be prudent with her investments. Now let's change that to a reported speech situation. Let's add, he told me that. He told me that. Okay, so first we'll do disconnected. So that's the way that if you're looking in a grammar book, especially a more basic one, it will tell you to change it in this way. If you follow those rules, she needs to be prudent with her investments. Because needs is in the simple present, we'll have to change it to the past. So we'll say, he told me that she needed to be prudent with her investments. Okay, not with the, but with her. I'm writing it like one word now. Okay. He told me that she needed to be prudent with her investments. Okay. So it's disconnected because it sounds far away. It sounds like she told you and now you're telling me, and that space is far away. Or that she doesn't have that problem anymore. She's not connected to it either. Okay, but how would you say it in a connected way? How would you say it to make connections? Like, it just... This incident just happened. He just told me. Or she's still in this process. She's still connected. Don't change anything. Just repeat what they said. He told me that she needs to be... She's still connected to that situation. She needs to be prudent with her investments. Okay, Van Gogh is saying goodbye and thank you. Thank you for watching, Van Gogh. I hope that you come again soon. All right, let's try. Hopefully somebody else will try to listen to what I'm saying and write it down, because that's the fun part. You know, somebody writes down what I say and I say, no, that's not what I said. But then we can understand why, or, you know, what are you hearing that isn't right? We can fix the problem. We can figure out the problem and fix it. Okay, so here's another. I think this would be the last one. We'll do one more. So here's a new sentence. So somebody please try to write down. Try to repeat what I'm saying in the chat. The service at the restaurant has been lousy. 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 You should know all those words. Maybe not lousy, but that's on our list. We already talked about it. The service at the restaurant has been lousy. The service at the restaurant has been lousy. Okay, I'm just going to write what I said. The service at the restaurant has been lousy. Okay. Now, do you remember that word lousy? Or maybe you weren't here when we were talking about it. Let's go back to our vocabulary chart. Where is it? Where did it go? There it is. So what is a synonym for lousy? Terrible. Terrible. So let's change the sentence. The service at the restaurant has been terrible. The service at the restaurant has been terrible. The service at the restaurant has been terrible. Okay. Now, let's do reported speech. I'm going to put, we posted on the internet that. Okay, let's do the disconnected way first. Right, so if I ask you to do reported speech with we posted on the internet that, and then the service at the restaurant has been terrible, if we follow the sort of neutral rules for making reported speech, if you have present perfect, you change it to past perfect. So the answer is we posted on the internet that the service at that restaurant had been terrible. Let me fix all of my typing mistakes. Service. Let's see. We posted on the internet that the service at that restaurant had been terrible. Okay. But you could say it in another way. You could say it in a connected way, meaning it puts you more in the experience of the horrible service. Maybe we just posted it, or maybe we believe it's still true, or maybe we're somehow still connected with this experience. Then don't change anything. We can say we posted on the internet that the service at that restaurant has been terrible. So you can do it either way. All right, well, I think that we have to finish here for today. And thank you, everybody who stayed. And I'm really happy to see everyone here. And I hope to see you again for my next class. Later on today, I will be reading a chapter from a book, and we will be talking about the vocabulary and the phrases from the book. And we'll be doing a video about that maybe in a couple of hours. So if you're free, come back and watch again and ask questions and make comments just like now. Okay? I'll see you later. Goodbye.